as the mid lane pool gets pinched further and as less effective counter picks are available, they do want to take that one off the board. Trying to take away some of the deeper HongQ champion pool selections, as he did bust that one out back during the regular season. He's played quite the variety of champs over the course of the season, has a long list of one-offs that he has played out, including stuff like the Zoe, stuff like the Twisted Fate, stuff like the Swain. You got to keep in mind that he could bust out some similarly spicy selections as we do get deeper and deeper into this Fearless series.
I think AL have them pinched here, because they either had to ban Poppy or Azir. AL should just kind of snap this up immediately. JDG don't really play a ton of Poppy, but like, it might even just be worth it to take it if anyone's Legends give it up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe JunJia plays it. If not, we know Vampire does. Tarzan snaps up the Qiyana. I mean, this is the Poppy angle. Now you see the Qiyana on the other side.
Yeah.
It's probably the best chance you're going to get, but the Bard! The Bard is up.
Bard has been banned for some of the games here, especially in the second phase, but we came into the series saying whoever gets Bard should be able to rise to the occasion, because Kael's the #1 Bard in the league. Vampire is a very close second here, and he's going to get this champion. Now, we don't know really what the other matchups are, so his value is going to essentially scale based on what immobile champions AL are going to grab. This, to me, kind of says that you're really not allowed to pick something like Cassiopeia, but if you need to, you need to. Anivia as well is going to be under a bit of threat if that comes on through.
JunJia looking at this Lee Sin, looking at this Nocturne. This is one of the few picks that JunJia has played that Tarzan hasn't. He's going to grab that one for himself to go along with the Bard. Going to be their counter pick of choice into that Qiyana jungle. Going to try to make sure that that Paranoia going to be able to have some impact in the side lanes. AL, do they want to grab a response here at support? Looking at that Kai'Sa, classic for Hope. Could still pair it up with a couple of champions. It feels like a lot of the traditional Kai'Sa duos are a little bit gone.
Yeah.
What would you pick with it alongside up against the Bard?
Against the Bard, honestly, I kind of just want to take Rakan. It's the champion that's going to be the most flexible. Your lane's not going to be as strong, but you're playing Kai'Sa. You're almost never exclusively trying to play for early 2v2s in this lane. So they're going to go ahead and just wait for a few more options, see what they're picking. If JDG go for something low range, I fully expect Rakan to be either picked or banned away by JDG. And for AL, they just want solid enough front line. We've cashed in our ticket. We're saying, okay, Flandre, you had a bit of fun. You got to play your Rek'Sai. You got to play your Mbessa. Lock in the Scion, brother. We got to send ourselves to Game 5 here.
Yeah, all right. Flandre does get his Scion. They're going to save that support. They will suffer probably 2 support bans for their troubles. Gala going to snap up the Misfortune. Wants to make sure that he gets a good combo alongside the Bard, that they're still going to be able to play a lane-dominant style, the way that JDG have carved out for themselves the bottom lane, all series and all tournament long. Going to get themselves Misfortune Bard here, start that off, and now, I mean, I assume bans towards the bottom lane, right? You're going to, like, expect to see things like the Rakan, perhaps the Leona, the Rel, if you do think that those are at risk.
Rel's good. There's no Alistar anymore, so definitely really, really impactful. Honestly, this kind of, for me, makes me question, why did we first pick Bard if we're going to take Misfortune? Your lane is going to be really strong as a 2v2 with these 2 champions, but I'm merely just worried of bullet time, Paranoia, and then Bard ultimate completely ruins all of the play, right? So that's going to be my initial concern, and how are we setting up Misfortune to do any damage? Because if you are not able to stop this front line, or this back line, I should say, from AL, Qiyana, Kai'Sa get right onto this Misfortune, and Nocturne Bard just stand there and like, well, I can't really do anything about that. So I'm a bit worried here for JDG. The composition isn't really super cohesive from what we have in our draft so far, and AL, the consistency of a front-to-back team fight, I think, is fine. And honestly, I'm just more interested as to what the mid laners are going to be picking here, because versus Bard, we already talked about, you can't pick too many immobiles, and the pool is starting to get really pinched here. I wonder if this is a Ziggs angle ever here for JDG.
Ziggs is banned.
Oh, well, I'm sad then.
It is. It's a tough one here. But there's plenty of other artillery mages in the pool, and we do know that HongQ's willing to play them. Stuff like the Zoe, even maybe getting a little spicier if you want to look at some champions that get a little bit less love for now. They're going to look for Xiaoxu in his matchup up against Flandre in the top lane. Knows that it's going to be the Scion. Looking at that Aatrox. I think that is a fine choice and does keep your counter pick for the Swiss Army knife that is HongQ in the mid lane. You know how many champions this guy plays. The Akali getting looked at. Not the worst comp to play Akali into. Can access the Misfortune. They're going to snap it up for Shanks. That's the blind pick in mid.
Good side lane right now. I like this. When you are always playing against Nocturne, you have to pick, in my opinion, you have to pick really strong lanes that are going to be able to operate on the outsides so that he can just use his ultimate to cover for them. No way.
There's one of those other artillery mages. And
it's also really good into Akali.
Yeah. We're just flicking through them. I refuse to give these respect until one of them is locked in. It's the Zoe again. So we do go to another long-range mage looking to burst from afar. Definitely going to be the longest range player in the game by a pretty solid margin.
I hate this draft, man. This is terrible from JDG. What did we do here? We have Bard Misfortune. We have no setup for MF. We have no setup for Nocturne. Zoe has 0 frontline in this game, and eventually there's going to be a Rel and there's a Scion.
This is a Trouble Bubble plus Bullet Time works like Lilting Lullaby Bullet Time, doesn't it? That's something.
Yeah, but like that's one target.
It's not real. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. I know. I'm just trying to tilt you. Yeah, I mean, hope we win lanes.
and then what happens in team fights is Qiyana, Kai'Sa, and Akali run straight into your backline, and we go to game 5. What are we doing?
We're gonna find out. Maybe some individual performances here could push JDG over the edge. Maybe Tabe wants to play game 5 against his former boys.
Why?
We'll find out. But
why do we want to play game 5? Just take your 3-1.
I like AL's draft. Maybe we're just FFing this game because Scion's been locked in and we don't have answers anymore. Maybe we're getting out of ourselves. Maybe JDG just slams 3 lanes.
If they win this game, it'll be against God. God does not want this to happen. Please, just get us the Jaios, please.
Again, JDG have one in the bank. We talked about this in the beginning of game number 3. They lost 2-1 games in the quarterfinals, so now they can win 2 lost games. They cashed one out in game number 2. They could cash one out here.
Gordo, I'm going to pretend like I just didn't hear any of that, okay? We're going for some counter jungling. Now, JunJia hasn't been spotted, or JunJia did get spotted. So did Tarzan. Yes. Are they going to continue to opt for the full-on just vertical clear? No, JunJia's racing over. I don't care that Shanks saw me. You are not taking my red buff. I am level 2 Nocturne. I should be able to beat up on Qiyana early enough. He's just going to run into his bot side jungle? I mean, hell yeah, my bot lane's winning too. The 2v2 looks good.
Yeah, Tarzan.
Oh, he doesn't know?
Oh, no. Oh, nice spell shield from JunJia. Figures out what's going on in pretty short order. I don't think it's enough to win the 1v2 with Kael there at his back, but turns what could have been a rough trade into a fine trade.
I like this. Just keep being super obnoxious. Stop Tarzan from finishing his clear.
Going on through. Tarzan trying to get these wolves. Gets it. And is willing to leave some of the little wolves on behind. Counter jungling isn't what it used to be, my friend. So it will respawn nonetheless. Just gonna get this blue buff though. Says thank you very much, Vampire, for hitting level 2.
I don't think he's going to have time or the resources to get Gromp. Also because Qiyana is a notoriously very fast jungle clear. Yeah, he's just going to go to his bottom side and then hope that he can try to contest on his top side. It does mean that Qiyana now loses out a lot of resources. She's a champion that can farm very fast, and as long as she gets through her first 2 clears uninterrupted, she can be really powerful. But as is right now, unless he decides to cross the river and try to maybe leverage a Flandre roam into top side, he doesn't have priority from mid. And Nocturne is very, very scary, even before level 6 in melee duels.
Definitely is. So we'll have to keep our eyes on whether those early duels take place. There's going to be a cleanse out from Shanks. Interesting selection on the Ahri there, but showing respect towards the power that the Sleepy Trouble Bubble does present. As HongQ is completely taking control over this mid lane in the first 2 levels, as expected. Tough to play against ranged, harass-heavy champions. Level 6 Akali.
Gordo, am I still allowed to be mean?
Yeah, man, I never told you couldn't be.
Okay, alright, alright. You did say Ahri. That's not Ahri. She was in the last game, though.
Did I say it instead of Akali?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's late at night here, man. It's 6 a.m. My bad.
I'll allow it. Alright. JunJia didn't do all of his topside camps for some reason. He took a detour. Oh, they want to play for Respawn Raptors. Alright, that makes sense. I'll take that. And you still have Ignite from HongQ.
Comes a potential contest from JunJia. Not going to be able to get onto it here. But will be able to get the Scuttle. He gets himself one of the 2, at the very least. Tarzan, not too frustrated with how this early game went, especially given the amount of pressure JunJia put onto him. Didn't get the blue buff, of course, but apart from that, he's been able to keep his clear going. We'll be able to get onto his respawn camp. Not too dissuaded in the early game planning on this Qiyana.
Just taking a look at the lanes, I feel like AL have actually done not a terrible job. The one that's the most problematic right now is mid lane, but that's how this matchup goes. Like, before Kali has level 6, and especially before she has any of her first items, Zoe is a really disgusting lane bully. So not all that surprised. What I'm looking at right now is a 20 CS lead in bottom lane, and you're only up 200 gold because there is a Kael taken.
Oh, wait! He gets the full combo. HongQ forced to flash away. Avoiding that kunai was incredibly crucial. Will be an flash blown there from HongQ. Well done by Shanks. Gets a nice combo through as he ticks level 6. We'll be able to get Zoe on the back of Summoner's Squad. Kael gets a flash out of Gala for his own flash. I think that's worth. Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble landed onto Tarzan. He wants to chase for more. He wants this kill. He's got the flash. He goes for it. And Tarzan finds first blood.
What are we doing on bottom side here, guys? The Scuttle spawn on the top. There's going to be no immediate play. Kael has no flash, and Qiyana is on the way. So if somehow this fight is still available in 10 seconds, AL could win huge. AL's
got the scoop. They have the heal as well. They're at about half HP. Dustbringer lands onto 2, but Hope able to clear out this wave. They surrender. They back off. Vampire takes a turret shot. That was getting a little dicey. Tarzan's here for the backup. JDG's plans crumble in their fingers. And AL, nice start here. Tarzan with the gold. Tarzan with the brutalizer.
Oh, he has no stun.
Solid trade here. HongQ getting hit by shurikens. Although JunJia here for the backup. Can he get away? Shanks going to try to flash. The fear is going to connect. There's the Battle Star not connecting, though, and Tarzan now here for the backup. JunJia takes a big chunk of damage. Shanks is out of energy.
Oh!
From HongQ, and he will find the kill.
That was a very big play. Another Respawn Raptor invade, and Kael is nowhere near this. JunJia just gets to play it thanks to HongQ and them winning that 2v2. This is getting very strange right now because HongQ already had a pretty big lead individually, but with him getting that kill and being able to equalize this, it almost goes to 1,000 here. This is very problematic, I think, for AL. The fact that Tarzan has been interrupted so early on, it hasn't turned into very much, but I think just keeping tabs on the MVP of the regular season is doing a lot for JDG. You're giving free information over, and you're, more importantly, stopping him from maybe impacting any of your other lanes, which are still winning right now, especially, again, this bottom lane with a 30 CS lead here for Gala.
Tarzan going to look to get onto the scuttle. Doesn't get there in time. Kael looking for the fight to get started.
Wow.
Big supreme display of talent. Connects on a 3. But there is the magical journey. Look into the back line. Hope launches himself in with a killer instinct. Double stun comes through from Vampire and might be enough to get him out with his life. Still, quick kill picked up onto JunJia. And first kill of the game onto Hope.
Now, Hope used both his flash and his ultimate in that one, so they're going to be able to at least get one turret plate if they're lucky. See that Vampire is just moving over. It's an okay kill going over, but I don't think it changes much of the temperature of this game. I'll have to be a little bit careful here.
Up. I mean, I think Hope and Kael have to be careful. Gala, the raw double up, just takes out Hope. Cast targeted onto him. No bounce needed.
Gala has potions. He had the so Gala had the adaptive force potion that you get from Inspiration Tree, and that's just a hell of a lot of damage, especially with PTA here. So pretty big mistake coming in from AL's bottom lane. That's that +1 that we were talking about in game number 2. We already made the play happen. We already got yourself the kill. Just get the recall in, but they couldn't get the wave underneath the turret. Gala gets himself a kill. He'll recall. And because of that overextension, JDG now to get 3 grubs uncontested here. They get a pretty decent win considering that their side laning is almost entirely based around this Aatrox, and it'll help them take down turrets. This is the first time in the series that we've been able to see them actually get 3 grubs.
Indeed. See what they're going to be able to do to make use of it. Kael and Tarzan pairing on up once again. Try to take some control in this bottom side jungle. Tarzan moderately strong here. About 500 individual gold lead as that brutalizer for the early game power. Not going to go for that dragon though. Doesn't feel like it is a safe take from the current state. Flandre and Xiaoxu duking it out. I don't think kills in the cards for either of these members here, but there's the World Ender popped by Xiaoxu. He seems to think he can take Flandre, at least be able to force him out of the lane. He does have access to the TP, though I think he'd prefer to hold it for now if he can.
That right there is what the professional top laners in the business call farming champion damage for the post game. So,
true.
Like you said, just going to be there to help him at least gain priority. It does mean that the next set of World Enders or just Darkened Blades from Xiaoxu is going to be potentially matchup breaking for him. They have a big stacked wave on bottom side. You see that AL are pinging out that they have vision of JunJia. So under no threat of potentially being dove on this bottom lane wave. When's the dragon going to be started? We're at 10.5 minutes here. No dragons here for either.
Tarzan set up a little trap here on the Xiaoxu. He gets hit by the unstoppable onslaught, and it's just easy pickings now. Flandre going to be the one who walks away with that kill. Maybe would have liked to get Tarzan up to 2-0, but they will take a free kill onto Xiaoxu when they can get one.
Just buys Flandre recall. Feels good. Sometimes that's all you need to do. Sometimes you just got to get bailed out by your jungler so you can go back to base, maybe even finish an item or two. Seeing some damage here from Gala. Is going to finally get that barrier from Hope. I expect that we are going to be fighting around this dragon, though. You can see that Flandre is starting to move over, but he has no ultimate after that last play. And more importantly, what I'm looking at is JunJia starting to clear down. All of his camps are going to start to come up in a few moments here, and finally you have priority. I have yet to really see Vampire get out of the map. Kael has been really big about linking up with Tarzan, making things happen in other sides, even if it hasn't really worked out for them so far. But this Bard is supposed to be like a big mover and shaker here, and it's been a little bit more quiet so far in Game 4.
Yeah, a lot of laning for Vampire Gala, but there's going to be a fear connecting on towards Tarzan. Doesn't have a too big of a lasting impact. Tarzan going to be able to slip out of there still with full HP. Vampire has had success fending off incoming ganks, stopping Hope from getting more than one kill in that big play down towards the bottom lane earlier on. But other than that, yeah, been pretty quiet. Kael and Tarzan spot them on out. Looks like they're interested in a little something here. Vampire forced the flash. The crash down comes through. Sleepy Trouble Bubble connects on towards Shanks. They know where he is. And the Duskbringer will connect. Those little sparkles, even within the Shroud, will give away the position of the Akali. And AL are forced to back away. They've just lost too much health.
Yeah. Akali has no TP, so you're just never stepping up for this dragon anymore. if you're AL, you're saying, thank God, first dragon of the game is taken at 12:30. This is going to be a much longer game than either of these two were expecting. And we've very rarely actually hit the soul. Because I just remember game 2, there was a dragon soul up, and then the game just ended before we took it. We got one finally in that last game, but it almost felt like a mere formality in what was the grand scheme of game number 3. Shanks, I really need to see him finish this Gunblade. That'll be a really big spike, not only in just completing an item, but having some kind of threat onto HongQ. Once we get into these side lanes and we start to put these two mid lanes on either one of the rifts, I really want to see whether or not he can actually perform, because it's one of the few like melee assassins that I would associate with Shanks that he's had some pretty good success on historically.
Level 11 will be great for him too, just getting that extra perfect execution, cooldown, and damage to be able to better threaten the Zoe. He's hopefully going to be able to navigate his way over there and have those sorts of performances that we do hope to see from him on the Akali.
Look at the quest completion. Oh, Gala!
Wow, they're going to be able to lock down Gala in no time at all. Tempered Fate, too little, too late. Just Veil's hope out, taking any turret damage. There's an ultimate into the river from a Tarzan. And they find JunJia as well. Shanks getting a big injection of gold for a little bit of a help towards getting to that Gunblade. AL snap 2 plays at once and win them both.
And on opposite sides of the map, by the way, that is huge. You got the flash and the barrier from Gala. That is a massive win by itself. But then you get the kill. You get a reset. We're going to make a movement over here to set ourselves up for Herald in 50 seconds. This is a very big win for AL and much needed at this point in the game after what was a rougher early game. I was just about to touch on the fact that JDG had actually finished all of their lane quests going into that fight. But then as soon as they get that pick on the Gala, Hope finishes his. Tarzan has now finished his with his final camp. So all of that lead that we were starting to see build up for JDG, gone into the snap of a finger here around the top side.
Yeah, AL having themselves kind of performance that we have expected from them in these early games. Really, really good job to be able to make that play on towards an isolated Gala, punish Vampire for roaming too much on the Bard. JunJia's caught in river. Tarzan feeling strong this game. 80% KP. Oh, that's a Sleepy Trouble level landed on a Hope. Hope walks into it, and he might just be done for. He flashes too. Oh, no! Hope goes down. HongQ with a solo bolo.
Well, now Gala and him are equal. No flash, no barrier, but Hope's is going to be on a slightly more extended cooldown here. Aatrox will TP. They'll have Zoe in a side lane. Sure. I don't think it really puts a dent in the lead that we see from anyone's Legend right now. And with Herald going over to JDG, I tentatively really do like the setup here for Jindong Gaming. They're going to have like decent amount of push for the time being. How did this land? Boom. Half his HP. He walks into it. It auto-arms.
Oh. I don't like that. I hate everything I just saw.
Why? Why are you hating? I thought you were supposed to be the yin to my yang on this one.
I just watched the dude absorb every Zoe ability, waste all his thunder spells, and die, man. I can't spin that.
That's a good job from Zoe.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how else to throw it.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess that is a good job from Zoe. Good job, HongQ.
None of those are targeted abilities.
League, brother.
All right.
Anyway.
So we're just going to keep moving ourselves across the lanes. Because Kaisa no longer has her flash or barrier, I think it is going to make this next dragon fight a little difficult for AL to swing. Also the fact that, oh wait, here we go. There's a player on top side. Observers, kill the Zoe!
Yeah, there we go. Shank's going to be able to find a solo kill. JunJia going to be able to collapse onto him with the Paranoia. That's going to make it into a 1-for-1. Does eat the Nocturne ultimate while they're at it. All in all, no harm, no foul. Let's see what Tarzan can do around this bottom side. He's lurking behind Xiaoxu's turret. At the very least, going to take away some jungle camps. Will they go for the dive, though? They're looking like they're interested. Flandre up here in the front line. They do still have the minions. They are going to hit the Scream display.
Oh my!
Huge regen from Xiaoxu. Sundered Sky. keeps Xiaoxu standing. And there is going to be the lockdown on towards Hope, but it's only the Tempered Fate, no follow-up available. Gala going to get exhausted. Kael has to back away. His cooldowns are done for. And both parties will back on away from each other, but wow, first start of Sundered Sky paying off big time for Mr. Xiaoxu.
Dude, this Aatrox champion, like, World Ender plus his passive, and then Sundered Sky. Like, he absolutely just gained 600 HP for no reason. And then now with them finding a little bit of purchase in mid, you saw that ultimate onto Hope kind of forced him away. There's no Magnet Storm. JDG should just have all access pass to this dragon. AL, you have no tools to play with. And now Tarzan, yes, he uses Flash. We are no longer playing for this, guys. They're going to just force the issue.
Yes, we are. Here's Flandre and Kael. Flash in from Kael. They get some lockdown onto HongQ. They get the decimating smash as well. HongQ loses a ton of HP. Paranoia comes through. Kael's dead to the bullet time. JunJia throws himself in towards Tarzan.
There we go.
Back, gets the insect fear by flashing behind Tarzan, but he will die for it. Shanks now throwing himself towards Gala in the back line. Gets some good damage on a Vampire, forces them back through Magical Journey. Now looking to cut off Xiaoxu on the opposite side, who will flash away from a decimating smash of his own. And somehow ALs have stopped the dragon from going down by trading jungler for a jungler.
Yeah, but they lose so much for this play because this ends up being a 2-for-1. Kael dies very early on, and it's another wave in bot side. It's as good as it's going to get with getting both of the flashes from Xiaoxu and from Tarzan. He doesn't know that Vampire is here gaining vision. Great job from the support of JDG. You now have the flash, and there's just no damage. Look at where the damage dealers are right now. Akali's in mid, and Kaisa is just now coming out of base. This is not a good situation from them, and a big overcommitment of resources to try to kill HongQ. If we just didn't have bad timers from the trade before, maybe this looks better, but I mean, you're losing out big time, and you're giving over gold to this JDG team you don't want to see.
Oh, great Tempered Fate here, going to save Xiaoxu's life as he gets Supreme's Blade of Talent into the wall. They are still going to be able to melt through the support on the backside, and Xiaoxu taking more damage than he can handle. AL grind JDG to dust as they get 3 kills. Dragon on the menu, easy to secure. AL, despite the misgivings of the last fight, they take the lead right back.
Imagine if JDG's draft just wasn't awful, right? Like, imagine how easy this game would have been if we had some setup. If Rel was on this team for JDG, this game would be free. If we didn't have some of the worst lane matchups on sides possible, this would be incredible. They would probably win this game and end the series. But we have no cohesive synergy, and we are only making like slightly gold positive plays because AL are in mispositions or their opponents are making mistakes.
Hard to disagree with that. Not able to put the fight together. Yeah, we came out of replay right into this, so it's tough to see how exactly it's set up. Kael gets interrupted on a crash down. The Supreme Display of Talent combo gets interrupted. This feels like it's not very good for AL, and yet, I mean, Vampire dies so fast, Akali does Akali things, and Hope is able to fire away uncontested.
We have no bullet time. Like, that was a great way to get Xiaoxu out of what was a horrendous engage, right? Sure, I'll take that. But we have no setup for this. I disagree. This AI bot needs to stop giving out hallucinatory information. JDG are not winning this later in the game unless something incredible happens. And I guess we have had a rather spectacular series so far, even with just 4 games here. Looking to maybe go to 5 with how AL are looking. A 3,000 gold lead in their back pocket, and hell of a great amount of team fighting. Again, just cohesive. It feels cohesive what they've gotten for themselves.
It's a solid position for AL here, finding themselves the team fights that they needed. The Dragons, obviously, as you called out earlier, were just so slow to come. JDG were not able to take advantage of whatever power points they had earlier on. You know, they had solid matchups in bot and top. They had early leads in mid too. They were able to build those up through the laning phase, but it just wasn't enough to be able to carry through into some of these skirmishes. And now some good skirmishes are all it's really taken for AL to catapult themselves into the lead. And now you have to somehow fit these misshapen puzzle pieces together on the JDG side to be able to get yourself kind of team fights you're going to need to turn this game back around. Currently posturing in and around the Baron. Can they find some kind of crazy Zoe pick?
Ooh, Shanks is on a flank. As long as they can keep them in this choke, this could be a very big fight right now. Also getting priority over the mid wave. I think dangerous that AL gets so much space like this. MF is supposed to be rather stalwart, a champion that really wants to duel. Let's go out.
Oh, wow, lights go out, and in goes Kael.
Oh, no!
Back and storm onto 2, launching themselves in towards Hope. HongQ getting soloed out by Shanks, will fall down over the wall. Shanks finds a second one. Flandre fending off the remaining members, and over there, in a 1 versus 3, it's Xiaoxu doing his best with the World Ender rolling, but it's not enough. Hope will finish him off. 5K gold lead to AL as they take the fight 3-0.
Masterful engage from Kael essentially ends this game and sends us to game 5, functionally speaking. And now they're going to grab the Baron as well. 750 gold for this, the Baron, and this timer's going to roll right into the Dragon in 1.5 minutes while they finish off a mid lane turret. Big gold swing coming in for anyone's legend. The first seed, I mean, so many things just go right for them. This ultimate and this engage from Kael is amazing. And then this bullet time from Gala. He tries to let it rip, but the ultimate from Qiyana stops him mid-ult. And there's just nothing they can do at this point. There's no damage. We had questions as to what this Zoe is supposed to do with no front line, and they just get eaten alive by this Akali. Xiaoxu's in the backline versus 3. If he had a little bit more help, maybe he could turn. But this series really has been Xiaoxu versus everybody. And he's getting no help here in game 4.
Oh, Shanks! We don't need to land Shuriken Flip. We're too far ahead. Solo kill found by him once again. In comes the Paranoia. This time he's got the stasis to be able to withstand it. And Tarzan is in there. Supreme display of talent. It displays JunJia to the ground. And it'll be 2 more in the pockets of AL as they are able to keep this push going with the Baron buff at their backs.
My JDG cope for this game is that this is a draft where we said, hey, we're getting rid of Bard from Kael. We won't have to worry about game 5 Bard. That's kind of it in my mind. Vampire's going to barely escape. He's just going to get chased out of his own jungle at this point. Another turret falls. 9,000 gold lead here for AL as they are going to wrap up this one in surefire fashion. We're at 25 minutes and we're already at a 10,000 gold diff.
AL looking to take us the full distance. The Tabe Bowl will go. 2 silver scrapes. If AL have any say in the matter, would need to be a massive throw from this position. And we don't have a lower third about that for AL. That was for JDG. And we were originally concerned about AL tend to not lose these games from 10K gold leads, although game 2 maybe gives you a little bit of pause.
I think it would be hard-pressed. We're looking for a little bit of something.
Well, Tarzan just got 1 shot, but it is a good re-engage for Hope. He jumps in, executes 2. Xiaoxu flashes in, thinks he can finish Hope, can't do it. Double kill to Shanks, and that should be it. 4 kills down. Vampire needs to hold off 1 versus 4. I think there's going to be a T-King Scion here before too long. 3,000 total assists for Kael. Congratulations to him.
In 2 years,
fast pace.
Yeah. 3,002, and yeah, that's it. They've got a wave, they've got Baron. We're going to game number 5. I guess JDG just want more experience. They just want to play more game 5s here in the playoffs.
10 playoff games for JDG. Playing a whole other season out here. See if they will be able to take it home. They have a chance to be able to move even further in this winner's bracket. It is not over yet. Silver scrapes upcoming. AL win out game number 4, making it look like game number 1. And they will take us the full distance. 1 more draft will settle who is moving on to our winners finals, who will be our first team in the top 3.
That's an incredible reward for you. I mean, not only that, but then, again, you're 1 step closer to making the finals potentially, making first stand, because there are 2 representatives from the LPL this year. So looking forward to what we can get there, but I mean, this is kind of business as usual for AL. I was taking a look. Their win rate when ahead at 15 is 95%. From all of split 1.
5% game 2, or is this before tonight?
This was before tonight. This is before
Okay.
tonight. So coming into the day, 95% went ahead at 15 is a rather pretty good stat. That's a stat you really want to have on your side when you are a team. And I'm just like looking at this now, and JDG, it feels like the wins that they have gotten in this series have not at all been convincing. Like game 3 there was one where it's fine, but it was mostly, I think, off the back of AL just not doing enough in the early game. That's probably the best like JDG win I will give them, but we could have already been done with this series if game 2 had not happened in the fashion that it did.
That's a good point. This could have been a 3-1 for AL, but quarterfinals could have been a 3-0 for JDG. It's
Sure.
Game ends when you destroy the Nexus, and until you do that, nothing matters. So we will find out who's going to be able to pull that off in game number 5 here before too long. AL, I mean, a clean play out here. I think this is probably going to be another Tarzan MVP. A really nice game of a Kiana for him there. Starting off early, answering the Nocturne well, dealing with a lot of shenanigans thrown his way, right? Getting invaded, losing his blue buff, having JunJia in his face. He responds well. He handles the pressure. He navigates the plays well, and looks a little bit more like the Tarzan we know and love after, I think, some messy gameplay on the Wukong in game number 3.
And especially the mid matchup. Like, imagine how easy it is to play after your mid laner stops getting 1v1'd in mid as Zoe versus Akali. After that point, none of the early priority from HongQ mattered, and they just became super unstoppable. Like, we did not have a big enough of a lead to do anything. Again, this bottom lane duo of Misfortune Bard is useless. I don't understand why we are going for this pairing. You have 0 setup. Rel was up. We first picked the Bard, and I think that's the thing that I'm most critical of. We first picked the Bard. We have no idea what AL are going to choose. There's very little from the draft that AL got that actually get punished by this champ.